Hundreds of potential future doctors will not be able to write their MCAT exam in Quebec because of Bill 96, forcing pre-med students to have to travel either to other provinces or into the U.S. in search of available slots to write this exam in time. Because the test is offered only in English, it violates Bill 96, which promotes the use of French language in Quebec. Joining us this morning is Ariba Ahmed. She's a pre-med student who's studying right now at McGill University in Montreal. Good morning to you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm curious, did you find a place to be able to write your exam?
For me, I still have to look for options. I'm looking either for Ottawa or Vermont, United States, because obviously in Quebec, we don't have any centers that are giving the MCAT.
Yeah, can you tell us how you felt when you first found out you wouldn't be able to sit for the exam in Quebec?
Right. So basically, this was a complete shock for me because Bill 96 was recently implemented. So all these regulations are pretty new. When I was looking for the testing centers on the AMC website, I was just casually scrolling through. And then at the bottom, they have an asterisk, which basically says that, oh, there's no Quebec testing centers because of Bill 96, basically.
Yeah, when I was speaking with McGill administrators about Bill 96, asking how it would impact education and learning there on campus, they said this was still a process, but it shouldn't affect it too much. How have you found, so Bill 96 came into effect in 2022. How have you found it impacting or not impacting your education so far?
Bill 96 impacts in a lot of ways because, first of all, when I'm looking for medical school options, initially I wanted to expand my options. I wanted to apply to the United States. I wanted to apply to the rest of Canada, even Ontario, Alberta, all those things. But now I feel because I cannot give Bill 96 locally, my only option happens to be McGill, which I feel when I compare myself to an average Canadian, that is very competitive because an average Canadian would have option to, let's say, 15 medical schools, but for me, I only have one medical school option.
How has this impacted your thoughts of becoming a doctor and maybe even practicing in the province of Quebec?
It has definitely impacted my thoughts of becoming a doctor in Quebec because I've always lived here. I've done my high school here. I've done my CEGEP here. So initially, my plan was to, work in Quebec and basically serve the population of Quebec. But since the Bill 96 got implemented, it's kind of just in general, like a few examples. When you call government institutions, there's going to be a whole listing of criteria, basically. That basically states that, oh, are you eligible to be spoken in English or French? Mm-hmm. And they're kind of, I feel like creating a segregation of what kind of population is able to be served in English and what kind of population is able to be served in French. With those things, and every just kind of law made it so suffocating for me to live in a province where a language is literally being enforced and discriminating minorities. So that's why I wanted to expand my options and perhaps look elsewhere where, my chances would be better of getting into medical school. And again, it's a thought, do I really want to come back to Quebec and work as a health professional here? Because currently seeing the trajectory of Bill 96, the laws are being enforced and Quebec government has been so clear that we are going to do anything to preserve the French language. So I'm just afraid, how are the laws going to go on moving forward? What can they do to make sure that French language is a predominant language in the province, basically.
Yeah, we've done stories on this program about the challenges for some people getting healthcare in English in Quebec, for example, because it's provincially funded. Listen, we know that province, like so many in Canada, is already facing a shortage of medical professionals, family doctors. Do you see this issue having a bigger impact on the province's medical field? I guess what I'm asking is, are there other medical professionals who are starting to think and feel similar to yourself?
Definitely, because Montreal and Quebec, I feel they generally have a shortage of doctors. Like I know people who have been waiting, more than 10 years for family doctors. And I have personally seen the ER department. It's chaotic because there is a shortage of doctors in, the healthcare system. So with these laws, and I know especially Anglophone doctors, they are trying to move out of Quebec, again, to increase their chances. So in the long run, I'm just afraid, how can the healthcare system of Quebec how can it sustain itself when all the doctors are leaving the province? And with the Bill 101 in the past, we have seen, businesses leaving Quebec. So I'm just afraid that now it did impact the financial circumstances of the province. It did impact the social aspect of the province. And now I feel it can also get in the way of education and the healthcare system.
Ariba, I want to thank you for joining us this morning and also wish you the best of luck when you sit down to write your MCAT. I know it's a big exam. There's a lot of study that goes into it, and best of luck as you head to med school.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.